I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Wednesday, May 15th. The Quincy City Council's Finance Committee will hold another budget hearing tonight. Councilors are in the process of reviewing Mayor Thomas Koch's proposed $424 million spending plan that begins on July 1st. Tonight, councilors will review budgets for the police department, emergency management, library, veterans services, natural resources, parks, recreation, cemetery, and the proposed new Department of Grant Management. The meeting begins at 7 at City Hall. A third budget hearing has been scheduled for June 3rd. The council may approve or cut budgets but may not make additions. 19 budgets were approved on Monday night with no cuts. The proposed budget represents a 4.5% increase, or about $18 million. Mayor Thomas Koch says he expects the budget will create a nominal increase in property taxes this year. A public hearing will be held tonight regarding a plan to expand the Quincy Center Redevelopment District. Mayor Thomas Koch is proposing increasing the scope of the area to be redeveloped from 62 up to 130 acres. The new areas would include the Star Market and Granite Place shopping areas, the Acapulco's restaurant in Quincy Center, areas to the north of Dimmick Street, including Planet Fitness, and to the south down to School Street. If approved by the Planning Board and the City Council, proposal would also require state approval. Also tonight, the Planning Board will continue hearing a proposal for a 4-story, 9-unit condo complex on Independence Avenue across from the Adams birthplaces. Tonight's meeting begins at 6 at Old City Hall. A young boy had serious injuries but will survive after being struck by a vehicle in Norwood yesterday. The child was hit near the intersection of Jefferson Drive and Earl Street, according to the Norfolk County DA's office, adding that he was airlifted to a hospital. Witnesses say the child was playing on the trunk of an Audi when the driver of the car started to back out of the driveway. The child fell to the ground and was pinned by a tire. There were many children in the neighborhood playing outside. Witnesses say when the driver realized what had happened, she moved forward, freeing the little boy. Police say the child had head trauma and injuries to his upper body. Norwood police say the driver is being questioned about what happened, but they have not said if anyone is facing any charges. Governor Healy's trip to speak at a Vatican climate summit this week will include an audience with the Pope. But the governor also plans to tend to the Bay State's business ties with Italy while she's there. The governor's Italian itinerary starts in Rome with an American Chamber of Commerce in Italy roundtable. That happened yesterday. Healy will host Italian business leaders who are thinking about establishing or expanding a footprint in Massachusetts. Italy is Massachusetts' 10th largest global trading partner, with a total of $2 billion in trade between the state and the country in 2023. The delegation's expenses are expected to be paid through the Massachusetts Tourism Trust Fund, which allocates funds to the Massachusetts Marketing Partnership. The partnership includes the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism and the Massachusetts Office of International Trade and Investment. Today, Healy will give a keynote address at the opening session of the Vatican Climate Summit, focused on governing in the age of climate change, and plans to make some news. Her office says the speech will highlight Massachusetts' global climate leadership, particularly in the emerging industry of climate tech, and announce a new initiative to grow the climate workforce. Later tonight, she'll co-chair the summit's energy session and deliver introductory remarks for panels on the renewable energy transition, access to clean and affordable energy, grid resilience, and clean cooking. Tomorrow, Healy will participate in a Highlights and the Way Forward event, which her office says will end with proposals from all mayors and governors on next steps. Healy, who has previously identified herself as Catholic, will get an audience with Pope Francis early tomorrow morning, along with Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. Sports betting in Massachusetts has been legal for a little over a year now, and so far the money it's generating for the state is exceeding expectations. That additional revenue was a selling point to getting the bill passed, including helping local cities and towns. In January of last year, Massachusetts became the 30th state to legalize sports betting. According to the Mass Gaming Commission, the Commonwealth has collected about $128 million in total taxes and assessments from sports wagering at casinos and on betting apps since it was legalized. That tax revenue gets divided into several different funds, including 27.5% of it going directly to cities and towns. But finding where those sports betting dollars are right now is not easy. The state comptroller says the revenue is deposited into the Gaming Local Aid Fund. That's supposed to be sent to cities and towns as part of the General Appropriations Act each year. It does not appear right now cities and towns are getting any bump from sports betting, and State Representative Jerry Paracella has promised to investigate. Steamship Authority ferry bound for Martha's Vineyard from Woods Hole left right on time yesterday, but as the always busy summer season picks up, there is worry about staffing shortages. The organization says it has just enough staff to operate all its ferries, which travel to the islands of Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket, with limited margin for error. For those who live on the vineyard, the ferries that connect the island with Woods Hole are an important lifeline. The Steamship Authority says any sick calls or unforeseen absences could cause some issues. For the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, finding a solution to that is top of mind. Officials spent yesterday meeting with lawmakers at the State House to try to find a solution to build more affordable housing on the Cape. Steamship Authority says it's also working hard to staff up before the busy season. Museum of Science in Boston announcing it will soon be undergoing a major renovation. The existing Connors Theater will be transformed into a new venue called the Public Science Common. The 10,000-square-foot area overlooking the Charles River is envisioned as a state-of-the-art convening space that will connect the public to Boston's unparalleled scientific community. Work will start this year, and it is expected to finish in 2026. The museum did not say how much it will cost, but Bloomberg Philanthropies will be a leading funder. The Public Science Common Space will be a multimedia venue capable of accommodating 700 people. It will allow for multiple programming in a single space. The new space will act as a hub for the museum's Center for Life Sciences, Center for the Environment, and Center for Space Sciences initiatives. The architect behind the new space, William Rahn Associates, has also worked on the redesign of the Boston Public Library's Central Branch and the Seiji Ozawa Hall at Tanglewood. Project will also help the museum work toward its goal of carbon neutrality by 2035. 40th Annual Quincy Senior Olympics continue today with women's bowling at 10 a.m. at O'Lindy's Lanes on Quincy Avenue. Check of business news this morning, and stocks were higher yesterday. The Dow was up 126 points, the Nasdaq rose 122, and the S&P added 25. Asian stocks also higher. The dollar slipped, the euro rose, oil at $78 a barrel. In sports, Bruins keep their hopes alive, beating the Panthers 2-1. Last night, it was a do-or-die situation, and that forces Game 6 back at Boston Friday, with the Panthers now leading that series 3-2. And Celtics take on the Cavaliers at the Garden tonight. Game 5 of their series, with the C's leading 3-1. Red Sox beat the Rays at Fenway in 12 innings last night. They'll play again tonight at 7:10. Forecast from the National Weather Service. Today, cloudy with some afternoon showers and a high of 71. Tonight, some showers, low 59. Rain off and on throughout the day tomorrow, high 66. Friday, partly cloudy, high 69, and then cloudy Saturday, high 65. For the boater, waves about a foot. Southerly winds at 5 knots, high tide 6:26 p.m. Sunrise 522 sets at 7:58. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy News Update for Wednesday, May 15th.